theme I'm exploring this week is how to develop and improve high notes. How can we extend our range upwards? How can we make our high notes feel freer, sound more beautiful and resonant, and cost less effort or strain? If you've been struggling with this for a while, you may be questioning whether it is even possible to extend your range upwards. The answer is yes. You can learn to sing higher. However, the best way to expand your range may be counterintuitive for many singers, because it has more to do with improving flexibility than it does with building strength or support. One of my first voice teachers had a philosophy that was essentially, if your voice isn't doing what you want it to, just push on it harder. This approach did not work well for me, and I don't think it works all that well for anyone. But I understand why it seems like it might. If you try to sing a high note and it doesn't come out, you can amp up your breath pressure, and then maybe it will come out. It just won't feel great, and it probably also won't sound great, at least not as good as lower notes, where you didn't feel a need to add the breath pressure. What is going on is that as you ascended, you hit the limits of your current range of motion for your vocal anatomy. Up until you reached that point, you were able to tune and resonate your pitches while your throat remained relaxed and your resonance space felt open and expansive. Then you tried to go higher and you met with resistance. There are different places where you might feel the resistance kicking in. Your throat may tighten, your tongue root or jaw muscles may feel more rigid. You may notice tissues spread laterally inside your mouth and a sensation like you're hitting a ceiling or some combination of these things. But wherever you feel tightness or resistance kicking in, it always means the same thing. You have reached the limits of your current range of motion for your vocal anatomy. The good news is that range of motion is something you can improve. If you can't currently bend over and touch your toes, you'll probably notice that when you try, you feel some tightness in your lower back or your hamstrings. Conditioning and stretching the tight tissues will progressively make it possible for you to touch your toes. The structures governing your vocal range of motion also respond to flexibility training. So, step one where expanding your range upwards is concerned is to assess where your range of motion needs improvement. Try this exercise. Perform a siren up and down as high as you can go. Notice everything you can about what is going on with your voice, your breath, inside your mouth and throat. Notice where things feel free and well coordinated, and when things begin to feel less free or start to tighten up. Notice if you feel like you're hitting a ceiling at the top of your siren. Wherever you are feeling discomfort, that is likely an area where you would benefit from improving your range of motion. Now I'm going to show you what happens when I do this. I'm going to go as high as I comfortably can and then show you what happens when my own range of motion gets impeded in assorted ways. That's what good coordination sounds like for me today. Now, see if you can tell what is going on if I mess it up. Could you tell that it felt to me like I was hitting a ceiling? That is what happens when I don't create optimal internal resonance space for my high notes. And it was once the case that I couldn't. I needed to develop more flexibility in the structures governing resonance and articulation in order to be able to reach the top comfortably. Now I'll mess it up another way. Another common issue for singers is that they can reach their high range but lose power and focus at some point on the way up. In this case, what I need is greater range of motion from my larynx, my actual voice box. And one way that can be developed is by learning to keep the throat more relaxed so that my larynx isn't trying to move up along with the pitch. So those are two examples of how improving range of motion for your vocal anatomy can improve your overall range. If you are straining to produce your high notes, this is the reason. You are meeting with internal resistance when you try to sing high notes, and then you are overriding the resistance with breath pressure so that the notes will come out, and it feels terrible, but it seems to work, so it's hard to stop doing it. And meanwhile, it feels more and more impossible that your high notes will ever feel and sound effortless and beautiful the way you want them to. And it's what that early teacher of mine told me to do, too, in every lesson. You're not supporting enough. Are you practicing enough? Because it seems like you should be getting better results by now. But I just kept getting tighter and straining more until I finally figured out that it wasn't about strength and it wasn't about support. It was about releasing and stretching the tight tissues and finding a quality of coordination that felt expressive, energetic, and free. Free high notes are the result of good coordination and good range of motion for your vocal anatomy. So stop straining and start investigating how to relax, release, and stretch the tissues that will improve your range of motion and your overall vocal range. This week's Practice With Me shorts will all cover strategies for assessing and improving your high range. Please see the video description for links, and I invite you to practice with me.